Floodwaters that wiped out bridges cut off more than a dozen towns in Vermont and 3 in New York.
Flash here in this small town in New York's Catskill Mountains. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Irene dumped more than 10 inches of rain into the Batavia Kill Creek in just a matter of a couple of hours. And as the water washed across the street here, Main Street is wrecked. None of the 1,800 people who live in Windham, New York had any idea what was about to happen as Irene moved in.
Oh, the river, she's rising now, 1 inch an hour. And tonight we'll be lucky if we still have power. But I got a flashlight and oil lamp and I'm ready to go.
Street, it was a raging river. This little creek, which is still larger than normal, was gushing against that bridge at full force, and we saw the bridge, and that was when we decided we had to evacuate.
Known as the city on the mountaintop, higher ground didn't help, as up to 4 feet of water went rushing through Windham.
We'll be okay. The tears are for everyone and for us and what's to come, and how can you not cry? It's a beautiful town.
Heartbreaking.
It's devastating.
Oh, the river flows and a young man dreams. And the river can drown you, or it can wash you clean. It can take you away to some other place. It can power your cities and carry your waste and give all you drink a peculiar taste. Oh, don't look to me, I've done my time.
It is a
it's
river
just that I've had too many drinks for this one heart of mine. And I've stood on the bridge with the river below, feeling all the sadness that a proud man could hold. Oh, the river is full, but there's no way, no way, no way to go. River take me, river take me.
During this process, but again, our sheriff's office, local PDs, local fire departments have been instrumental in this process. You can never say thank you enough to our local fire departments, who really have played a critical role in this from a first responders perspective. Again, those are the primary sources that you're able to use at that point, be able to identify where the real problem areas can be. Plus, you have historical knowledge of where major flooding takes place. The problem is, when you have a storm like this, which is of historical proportions, you have flooding where you've never had flooding before.
River, take me, river, won't you take me, please, far from troubled times. Oh, oh, oh.
Just back from a aerial survey of large portions of the county. What I saw was, in some areas, limited damage, but in other areas, total devastation. As we moved out the 28 corridor, what I saw was bridges completely washed out, roadways completely washed out, an enormous amount of infrastructure work that's going to be required as we move forward.
Turns out it wasn't the wind, it was the water. Long after Hurricane Irene fell apart, rain from the storm did the greatest damage. Parts of 13 states, from North Carolina to Maine, are deep in floodwaters. At least 35 people have died in the region. Some homes were reduced to rubble. Nearly 5 million homes and businesses are spending another night without power. Floodwaters that wiped out bridges cut off more than a dozen towns in Vermont and 3 in New York.
Serious flooding in the Warsing and Rondout area, agriculture that's been significantly negatively impacted.
What you are looking at is just one scene from what emergency personnel in Orange, Sullivan, and Ulster counties are calling the most devastating weather event ever to hit the region. No municipality in the Catskills or Hudson Valley was spared the wrath of Tropical Storm Irene, as 6 inches or more of rain turned local streams into raging rivers that overflowed their banks, stranding residents, closing roads, and damaging property. Then there were Irene's gusty winds that brought down trees and power lines, leaving tens of thousands of people without electricity.
Since the beginning of the storm, a cumulative total of 180,000 customers were impacted, with about 75,000 here in Ulster County.
But the Cold Brook Bridge that you're talking about, that doesn't exist right now, is also completely unfindable from the air. By where Catskill Mountain Railroad is in those areas, tracks have been really twisted like pretzels and thrown into the water. An enormous amount of infrastructure work that's going to be required as we move forward. We also wanted to make sure we got to a YMCA camp up in Frost Valley to make sure that everyone was going to be safe there. We're now moving young children out of there who were actually landlocked there for a period of time because the roadways both in and out were inaccessible. The good news is, again, we are making progress there. Everybody's getting out and everybody is safe. To date, to give you an idea, there's State Route 47 off of 28, and what I saw there was an absolute cavern that has been created. It is probably, the entire piece is gone, as if someone took TNT and blew it up.
It's completely impassable except for ATV traffic across this cut through here. This is what Hurricane Irene did in Ulster County, in the town of Shandaken.
And the river can drown you. Be a river, won't you take me, please, far from troubled times.
This time around, mutual aid meant going to Nebraska and Wisconsin and Michigan. While I was out on the road today, we saw crews working all over this area. Ulster County from Florida came all the way up to help out. So and everybody needs mutual aid. Everybody needs more crews.
Important thank you to the DPW workers who are just doing Herculean effort at this point. Think about this, as you know, we are incredibly close to when this event actually took place. 50% of the roads that were completely impassable are now passable. That really is a testament to the DPW workers at both the county, town, village, hamlet, state, everybody who really come together to try to make sure that people are able to get around and get access to things like grocery stores